Okay, I think we're live now. Hey, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. My name is Brenda Unu, and I'm super excited to have you here today. With me in the studio is Samira. Samira, I love this, your hair today. You're looking nice.
Thank you very much, Coach Brenda.
And what a sight for sore eyes. I mean, even your background, everything is just popping. I'm like, don't come and shine more than me, the host of my own show. What's
No,
wrong
no, no.
with you?
Coach, you're shining. Don't worry, I will take it from you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I always love
Thank you
it when
very
people
much.
show up and show up good. It means you take us seriously, and so we appreciate you. Welcome and thank you for joining us. As we
Thank
always
you.
do on our show, we let our guests introduce themselves. We don't waste our time to read bios or any of those things. We just allow you to actually give us, just give it to us, your full self with all your glory. Don't tamper anything down, please. Just give us, like, you know what? Introduce yourself to us, tell us who you are, what you do, and we want to meet you.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful opportunity to be on here today with Coach Brenda. It's been long awaited and finally it's here. So thank you for this opportunity and thank you people for joining us. I am Samira Tuwakaso Abdullahi. I'm a mother of two, married to one man, two beautiful girls. I'm a business analyst by profession, but the one that is the passion and the main thing for me is the teaching of children. I'm a children's coach, a Bible coach, specifically
Mm.
raising and just on an assignment to
Wow.
raise wholesome children who are grounded in God's word and know their places, their identity, not mistaking anything, not wanting to play small, but raising giants for the kingdom. That's who I am in summary.
I love it. I love it. So pleased to meet you. I mean, when I first heard the name Samira, then Abdullahi, the next thing you're talking Bible, I'm like, what's going on? Are you Christian, Muslim? I don't understand. Tell us about it. Or is that name just a Hausa name? I mean, please, me out of
Oh,
my
it's
misery.
beautiful. It's beautiful to have this on this interview today and get the question come true. Samira is a name given to me by my dad. My dad used to be a Muslim. So I started off as a Muslim before I got
Okay.
born again and now became a Christian. So that's where the name came from. So you have no reason to worry.
Wow.
But Abdullahi is Wakaso used to be my maiden name, and Abdullahi is my name by marriage. Abdullahi never had anything to do with Islam, unlike me, who had like the background. And surprisingly, I met Abdullahi, who just his own family named him Abdullahi. So the confusion became great again. Now you're leaving Samira Wakaso and joining an Abdullahi, which makes it big.
Okay.
Like, who is this person coming? Samira Wakaso coming to talk about the Bible. The hell are you?
I
But
know.
that's what it is. And I'm loving it.
I love it. I mean, it gives you, we want to ask more. It's a conversation starter right there. I mean, and I love it. So, welcome, Samira. Thank you so much
Thank
about,
you.
I mean, thank you for joining our show. It's been so hard getting Samira on the show, guys. I mean, the first time we scheduled, she had to travel. I mean, I think it was, no, we had internet drama. In fact, it was just a lot. Today
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, devil, no, not today. We will do it by fire, by force. And I'm so happy that we're
Right.
able to do it. Thank you so much. All
Thank you
right,
so much for having me.
let's get into it. Every time I try to have these shows, I always get, maybe sometimes I have a series of topics and I send people to choose the one that they want. But since you said the Rice Right series, we found you with, we look at your stories, look at your journey and say, okay, which one is best for you? And so for us, we landed with you in writing in obedience. And I'm thinking, I remember when Samira came to me. Samira, tell us the story yourself. Tell us the story by yourself.
We've had so many stories, Coach Brenda. So which one are you asking me to tell? Is it the one I came for the training or the one I came before the interview? So just tell me which one is it I'm going to be sharing so I don't just bore people with the whole details because there's so much to share.
There's so much, right? Okay, so basically, when you first came for the training, and when you were like, okay, you wanted to write a book, and we started talking, okay, what kind of book and all of that. How did we arrive at that? How did you get there?
Oh, beautiful. I think I joined the Masterpiece Mentorship Program, and that was where I met Coach Brenda. And during the retreat in Lagos, I went for a pitch, I like to
Yes.
pitch a deck or something. And yeah, it was after that whole process, Coach Brenda was like, Samira, don't worry. Even if you don't win, I'm going to do something with you. And I kept looking forward to it. Then finally, I heard the authors training was coming up, and it was an opportunity for me to just launch into what Coach Brenda had told me about. And when I met her, I explained to her what it was. I
Mm.
was telling her the way I wanted to write the book. It was a book for children, making them know God's word, understanding stories in a relatable way. And I actually painted it and made it look like, okay, how do I go about it? Because I thought you needed to have a main character, how she told us it needs to take a flow, the same person should go. And then she said, just send me a chapter and I'll see how it's going. And when I sent, she was like, wow. And then, this, they're saying, wow, who is the person? Is it me or somebody else? That she's saying wow about what I had written. But coming to Coach Brenda, sorry, gave me structure because I actually did not know how to go. I thought it needed to follow a particular pattern, but she made me understand that everybody writes in their own way. It doesn't have, there's no rule to it. Like just be yourself and tell your story, say what you have, pass the message, and the reader will be able to relate, not wanting to follow a particular style to say, oh, it must be in a perfect way or in a particular order. So going that way gave me a voice, like, okay, then I could do this thing. And then I started writing. And Coach Brenda was on our necks, like, you need to write this particular number of words. Samira, where is your word? And I'm like, this woman, is that how the how many weeks is going to go? It was like fire for fire. We had structure, we had like a workbook that we're supposed to write in. So you write what every chapter should look like. And it just gave me an idea. And with that program, I was able to write like the major thing. After that program, I didn't write anything again. It was now like refining what I had written because she made us understand that, okay, after you've written, you might be writing at this time, but sometimes you need to take a break and give it time, then come back to it again. So it was not like back to back. You must just write, continue reading, because sometimes there are errors that you will not see when you're reviewing. And it was amazing because going through it again, this thing where you've written and when you're reading it, you're like, who wrote this part? What was I thinking when I wrote this part? Okay, let me change it. And it made it relatable and made it really
To me,
confirm what Coach Brenda had said. Because when you're reading, when you're writing, it's a different game than you're reading. And I was this person who will write only with a pen and paper. But Coach Brenda wanted us to count the words. And from this training, I was able to learn that okay, I could just
mm,
use the Google thing to snap it and it converts it. Then I'm able to make some corrections. So it was not just writing because I had the story. It was also a time for me to learn, which was like a mind blower for me. And that learning has been with me. I've held on to it and not let it go. So it's like an added advantage to me. I came as maybe I'll say on a particular level, but I
right.
left better. Yeah. So it helped me rise. This rise to right that we're talking about, it actually happened in my own life. So I'm a witness of the rise to right. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
well done.
testimony.
Thank you so much. So, when you first came to me, you told me, oh, you had this book on your mind, that like you had, had such strong feeling that God had asked you to write this book, and you were really worried about how to start. So I want to know why, how you went from hearing, oh, God wants you to do this and actually getting it done. What was the steps? What was the maybe defining factor for you? Because many of us we hear, it's not as if we don't hear. We are all of us we hear. God will tell you, do this. You too, you will know that you have been told, but we will be dragging your feet. Sometimes you're overanalyzing. Sometimes you say it's not my type of people that do this kind of thing. Or can I not? Is it possible with anybody? All of those many myriads. Did you
Yeah, I think
all overcome them? How did you move from actual, hearing to get there?
that's a very good question because I think most of us actually stay at that point where we're thinking, what if I fail? And we don't think of what if I don't fail. So I heard like it was write this book. And for me, it came from
Yeah.
different means, like different people were speaking because I teach children and we are big on, oh, children are not getting the right resources, children are listening to wrong things, children are taking in wrong materials. And it was more like I was just a talker. Yeah, I know I teach children, I meet them daily, we have online sessions and everything. But for me, it was like there was nothing to back this, oh, resources you're talking about. Yes, your materials are out there on YouTube. You could send out videos to children, but I wanted something had like that children could relate with, and where that was where the book idea came up from. So instead of being,
Right.
I had that in my mind, then I went for a program and they were like, okay, as a partner, as a parent, as a teacher, whoever is on this meeting, I think it was a meeting with Irene Bangwell. And she said, what are you doing to actually stop this whole thing that we're all talking, hey, the world is giving us information that is not good for our children. So what part are you playing? I went to Coach Wendy again. Coach Wendy was still talking about what part are you playing? Are you an ally? Are you a bystander? I'm like, why is it that everybody's voice is now coming to arrange to this thing? Then I had a friend who came and said she heard this clearly, but she knows it's not her assignment. It's for me, and she's just going to be able, that's follow Akirili, that she was just going to push me to do it. And I'm like, well, all these confirmations coming. And sometimes you hear something and you
Mm.
know you need to do it, but you're just trying to hold back. And then I started writing, not telling anybody about it. Even when I joined your course, funny enough, I didn't tell my husband that I was doing it. I was just trying to do something solo. This kind of, okay, do solo so that nobody will be asking you questions. And before he knew it,
In case it doesn't work.
when I mentioned, I heard him say, my daughter started, when she's calling my name, I'm like, this is getting more serious. I thought I was just the anti-Semira on my level. Why is Otto now entering this thing? They now want to give me fever. Time I told
Mm.
like family or people that were part of my close circle about it, I saw them believe.
Mm.
Years ago, somebody told me, if you write a book, I'll buy 100 copies. And I'm like, go, I'm not a writer. This, you're just trying to shove it down, you're just trying to quiet them. And it just kept
Yes.
coming, kept coming. And finally, when I met you and you said I'll do something, I'm like, okay, I think come out of this zone and let's see how we will do it. So I started writing, and that was like a breaking point for me where I had to move into the obedience and now know that it is something for generations. It's like I don't doubt it sometimes. Sometimes I'm still like, will I even sell to anybody? Maybe when the book is out there, nobody will buy. But then I tell myself, you have written it. Even if it's a message for one person, somebody needs to know. Somebody needs to hear about it.
That's
It's not like the numbers. And that has kept me. And that's why I was able to break through from just hearing, just thinking or imagining and walking into obedience here. So for those of you who are
I
like me,
love
come on.
I love what you said. Mm. I absolutely love what you said. I mean, and I'm going to take it apart little by little. So it's always first you hear, and then there's always the confirmation. Like God knows those of us that are coconut head, that he has to say something twice, thrice, 4 times too. He
In
knows.
fact,
So he sends you
anytime.
confirmation. For me, I was like, God, if it is you, I must have I need to have confirmation. He knows me that these are these gays. I head is coconut. So he's not offended. He will just send you like 3 people. In fact, the 3 people can
Right.
come the same day. Only you be like, okay, Holy Spirit, I've heard it's okay. You don't need to call one more person. I got it. I hear you. This is you. So he sends confirmations, right? God
Yeah,
is
he
loving like
does.
that. He sends
Yeah, he
confirmation.
does.
So you know. You're not just guessing. Is it my mind telling me? Is it my pride telling me I can do this? No. When God asks you to do something, he would send confirmation. That's number one. Number two is that he would send help. So
True.
not only did he would send support. So he sent you help in form of this program, right? Okay,
Yeah.
this has to refine your work. Then he sends you support in forms of your husband, your children, all gassing you up. Do you know what it would have been like if you told your husband you wanted to write a book? I was like, is he your type of people to write a book?
Imagine
You would have just closed the thing
the light
gently
to
and said,
up. That's right.
you
That's
know,
right.
and that's it. And some people don't get that support where they are looking for
Yeah.
and support. So your husband may laugh, right? Your best friend may laugh, but there'll be one person somewhere that will say, oh my God, I know you can totally do it, right? So your job is not to listen to naysayers, because when God called you, it wasn't a conference call.
Yeah.
So all those people that say, oh, you can't do it, or it's your kind of people that write, they were not there when you heard it,
True.
right? So until they also hear that Samira is going to write a book, they may laugh. I mean, Elizabeth laughed when they told her she would have a child.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So it's not, she wasn't the one that was told. It was Zachariah that heard it,
That's right.
and he believed it. So when you hear it and you are told to do something, your job is to protect that vision and run with it.
That's
And
right.
if you need confirmation, say, God, you know me, my faith is not strong like that. Please, can you please confirm that it's really for me? Because those people here, they're
Exactly.
laughing at me. I'm not really sure. He will. In his
That's
goodness and kindness, he will send confirmation. And he will go further and send you help. Every time I've had to do something, I always find out that there are people. There's always somebody that is set already, ready to teach me the thing. I'm always, this God, this is what I used to do. He's always
that's true.
sets them up. You'll just be walking, you just hear somebody is teaching about something. Like sometimes it could even be free. Sometimes it could even be, and you'll just be surprised. Wow, this was just what I needed.
Very
Sometimes you just be
timely.
scrolling on Instagram and you will just find the help you need. That is how God works. So if he tells you to write, so number one, it was, you heard. Number two, you found, encouragement and support
Right.
from your family. And number three, you're like, if it's just one person, then that's fine. Because it doesn't matter to you whether you sell or not sell. That's not the job. Oh. The job is to write the book. Do you see?
Mhm.
When you write the book, the market will come.
That's
Because
right.
God that was write the book, he had a market in mind. He did
Right.
not, he did not need you to create a market. He already had the market in mind. And he says, okay, go and write a book about it. Because there are some, and I loved what you said about children needing resources. See, I have a special place in my heart for children's authors. Special place. Because why I do what I do, my first thing that is chasing me is the availability of good content. That's why I do it. I'm an architect by profession. I don't need to be writing books. You see, it's not.
Yeah.
This is where my bread and butter is from. This book money is not really the money that I'm spending, do you see?
That's
But
right.
but the thing is, it's a big passion for me to find the right materials for people to consume. We need to have more clean content. We need to have more Christian people standing up and shaping culture. We need to have people talking about these things. When somebody that is not Christian or not as sound spiritually is talking about something, maybe marriage, right? They could be sharing wrong information, like don't take rubbish from your spouse, or you know what, if he does it, it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. They could be sharing stuff like that that are not
Yeah.
correct biblically and that are not
That's
God's
right.
idea for marriage. But if
Mhm.
you, a Christian woman, wants to share on marriage, you'll be sharing from the Bible, you'll be sharing from God's idea, God's perspective.
That's
So
right.
you would be shaping culture the right way.
Right.
But we have today so many influencers talking about things that they don't even know the half about. They're trying to use human wisdom to solve, godly issues. And you're thinking, when you hear some of the misconceptions, like, hey, God, and these people have followers. You check, you see 1.9 million. Hey,
Of
Father,
course.
Lord,
Yeah. Yeah.
have
Of
mercy.
course, you're right.
But,
Hmm.
but because nature abhors a vacuum, nobody else is talking. So when they're talking, they're getting the audience.
That's right.
So why I'm doing what I'm doing is to tell people that, listen, girl, you have the wisdom. You've lived through these experiences. You can teach this thing the way God wants it taught. So get up and do it. Okay. Now, for children's authors, oh my God, you have a special place in my heart, and I'm sure in the father's heart, because the proliferation of material for children now is like the devil is on attack.
That's
He's,
right.
I saw a book in my house, my own house. So my sister, do you know the title of the book? The Boy in a Dress. I was in shock. I was like, eh? I don't even know what carried me to my children's wardrobe, this thing,
Bookshelf.
study that day. And I was
Yeah.
like, what's this one doing here? And I said, so I think it was a birthday gift. Maybe somebody had bought it for my children like to read. So when they are coming to our birthday party, if you don't have any of that, but just buy a book, you'll be fine. So I think it was a birthday gift. And for the life of me, person didn't write their name on it. So I was like, I don't think the parent was conscious when it was picked, because I mean I don't think I have those kind of friends that are very, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. To have a boy in a dress.
how
Yeah. Because,
how did the book get to my house? I don't know.
yeah.
And immediately I took it, I confiscated it, and I took it away. And I thought, you know what? It's because there's not enough things to buy. That's why somebody will
That's
go
right.
and be buying boy in a dress. That's why a bookshop will even be stocking boy in a dress. That is why it will find its way to my house, because we don't have enough books for children to read.
Yeah.
So, as many people as have a heart for children's books, by all means, write it already. Because it is from the infancy that the devil is trying to snatch these ones. If me and you see a book today on something that is questionable, you'll be like, that's not okay now. Do you understand? We know
That's
enough
right.
to know that that's not all right. We can
Yeah.
just quickly discard the book. But these children, they're impressionable, they're young, their minds are open. And so once they start to sow that, I said, I opened it. Me, I had to sit and read the book because I was like, but yeah, it's me that is thinking is not what it is. It was about a boy who felt that he was a girl.
So you see,
His mother
I think,
died, and it was two sons in the house with their father, and it was just sad. Then towards the end, their father was grouchy because the mother died. So they were all, the house no longer had any fun because their mother had died. So the boy was now alone. Somehow, someone decided to, went somewhere. He now wore his mother's dress, so that he was missing her. Then he now felt comfortable. Then he wore the dress to school. It was just crazy stuff.
yeah. And
Are you
it's
going
so
to
easy to
book?
get it in. Like they bring it in very little ways.
You
My
will read the
daughter,
book and think, oh, poor boy,
you
he
would,
lost his
of course, you
mother.
relate. That's right.
You know,
That's right.
he lost his mother. So he was, look, the clever way that they told the story. Say, my God, I was like, how? Then the next day, he now felt comfortable. So he now went to school. They first laughed at him the first day. The second day, somebody stood up for him. And then before you know it, they were like, oh, I'm proud of you for standing your own. He was trying to play football. He couldn't, he was doing very badly at it. His father was always laughing at him. And then he now started to do dance. It's just, he now said that he felt that, oh, this was the real him. People talking about saying wearing a dress to school every day. I'm
The boy in a
like,
dress, really. You
oh,
can relate. You can relate that that book is wrong, but for a child, I think my daughter is 9, but so many years ago when she was 4, at that point, I think that was like when COVID set in. We got into this program where books were sent home to children just for them to read and keep busy. So there was a particular book that came, friends of mine. It was so beautiful, yellow and very colorful. It was like children's book, obviously, with lots of pictures and everything. So one day she picked it up to read, and it was mommy, daughter, okay, read for to me. And when she started, because she also loves books, and I saw her reading, and the book was about family, father, mother, not minding where you're from. It doesn't matter what kind of mix you have, but just love yourself, love your friends, accept them. And when I saw the book, like it had mates, it's like, yes, it's mates, they are age mates. I said, no, this book, you're not there yet. You're just 4, you don't have. At that point, I'll say I didn't manage it well because you confiscated, you took it off. Me, the mother and the everything in me, just read the book in front of her. Oh, she let loose. Oh, mommy, my gift, you will not let me. And she didn't understand it. So when she left, I carried the book and sat down, like, cause how I saw it. And I said, okay, I'm going to fix it. I used sellotape to fix it back just to have some level of peace. Then I realized I did not need to do it in front of her, but then started talking to her about it and started telling her why the book was wrong. It was a wrong read. Yeah, time, like growing up, she sees things in books now, she sees things in movies, and she's like, Mommy, did you notice that that man is father? And she can talk about it because she's in a place where she now knows and she understands because we've had lots of conversations about it. But imagine a young child who maybe the parents are not seated there, just takes that in, begins to feel, okay, that means even when I grow up, I can be that same child who will choose to have father, or mother, and just wake up to anything. And it's everywhere now. It's not like a country thing. You say it's in America, it's not in Nigeria. It's
everywhere.
everywhere. Identity
It's
troubles are everywhere. Yeah. So it's a big
everywhere.
thing. Yeah, it's a big thing.
Everywhere. And they're just inserting it silently, gently, in clever ways. So I say, why don't we insert our own ideologies in clever ways too? Share this thing with the children. When you told me about the book you're writing, I was like, hey, God, me too, I have a similar book. Oh. I started it to my sister. I told you now, my own was superheroes in the Bible. In fact, I couldn't find a perfect title. That's why I abandoned it. But I started. I wrote like 3 stories. I've even shared it in my school church Harvest magazine. I published 1 or 2 there, and people are like, oh, that's such a nice story. So, the first one was like David, the story of David and Goliath, and how I put it was the boy who stood up to the bully. So I talked about a young boy in school, and he saw some other older children bullying a younger one, and he stood up to them, and called the teacher and all of that. So the next day at school, he was being awarded, he was being commended on assembly, and the teacher was like, how little this boy is, look at what he did and all that. And so they were asking that, how did you get the courage to stand up to such big boys, the year 6 boys and all of that? And he said,
Yeah.
oh, the mother told me a story about David and Goliath in the Bible, how this little boy David had called on God to help him, and he took down the bully of the nation and everything. And then I now, quote the Bible passage and everything. And, with a bit of questions for parents
Able
to,
to.
discuss with their kids. And, everybody I shared it with, like, oh, it's beautiful. I had a whole list of the heroes I wanted to write about, and, bring it in contemporary settings so that
Yeah,
people would
relate
understand.
it. Yeah.
People of God, I've not finished it, so I'm reporting myself here so that somebody will keep me accountable. Because truly, 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 we need to write these books. We need to, share the stories about, God, and sell virtues in relatable ways, right? The
Yeah,
way
that's
these
right.
people are selling vices in ways that are attractive, let's sell
Nice.
virtues in attractive ways. A friend of mine wrote a book about feelings the other day, big feelings, little feelings, and everything in a children-friendly way, even in certain way, Jesus felt. Beautiful book, and it's for kids. And I think that we need to be talking about any and everything. We just need to populate the world with clean content for our children,
That's right. Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be Bible. It can just be clean. Do you see?
True.
And
Yeah.
you can be teaching them something. You can be teaching them about money. You can be teaching them about architecture. You can be teaching them about fashion designing. It just has to be clean content. See, we just need
That's right.
clean content. Please help
Yeah.
us. We just
We need to be
need
many. We need to be
to
many.
be many, so that we have I look forward to the day I'll go to a book fair in children's school, and it will just be African authors, and it will just be plain content. We don't need to second guess the thing. We don't need to be checking the back of the book and reading it and not reading and be saying, can my child read
Yeah.
it? We'll just be happy knowing that this is what we stand for, and we have enough. Because when you have voracious readers as kids, you struggle to find enough things for them to
Want to
read.
know. That's right. That's right.
We struggle because once they've gone through the whole normal ones that then that's it. You're not looking for what would they reach out now. That's when they start searching, and then start seeing what they did not send them. You see?
That's
So that's why we
true.
really, 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 really need, everybody needs to get writing. And as much as you write, and I wrote children's books during COVID. Mine was quite by accident. I was bored. So I sat down and I just did use Canva to prepare something, and I shared with a few friends, like, oh my God, they love it. I shared with my children's teacher. She used to teach in school. She said the kids loved it. So when I had a bit of money, I printed them, and the thing flew off the shelf. Like, I didn't even have to market it. That's to show you how much parents are looking for clean content.
Content.
My
Yeah.
children's book have sold the most of all the books I've written. As sensible as those books are, the children's books are the ones that, like, I'll just sitting there, someone call me, please, can I have 20 copies? Can I have, I'm like, okay. Because there's that need, the market is there. So if you ever heard God tell you to go and write a children's book, sister, brother, this is your confirmation. Get on it.
And get started. Yeah.
Get started. Get started.
Yeah.
We need it. We are looking for it. So tell us
That's
about
it.
your book. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, the book I'm writing is Heroes. It was almost going to be the same title with what Coach Brenda I was talking about, but mine is
Yeah.
Superheroes for Champions. And Superheroes for
Okay.
Champions just brings out Bible heroes, but in a relatable way, making children see that they can relate to what the heroes did. Like
Mm,
the slave girl. The slave girl went to an unknown country, but she didn't hide her voice.
mm,
She still knew there
mm,
was something in her that needed to roar, that needed to come out, that needed to make a change.
mm.
So she was able to cause a change in the life of Naaman, not sure of how it was going to play out. She didn't need
We
to see the whole
received.
picture. She just took
Mm,
a step. And the step she took was going to tell her boss while cleaning. And okay, because that child we could even say that that girl was overwhelmed with
mm,
washing, cleaning. She was from a different land. That girl was quite young. Maybe in her own
mm.
country, she was that baby girl that was being pet by parents. She didn't need to go out to clean. But then here she was with lots of chores that should even keep her busy thinking, okay, let me think of how to finish this. But while she was
Right.
doing all those things she was doing, she was still able to think of, okay, I have a voice. I'm not going to keep it in me. I'm going to do
Mm,
something. Tell my boss's wife and see if she takes a step. And it was like the first seed she sowed. She took the first
mm.
step. Then God did the watering. He made the wife say, okay, it's not bad. Just give it a
Yeah.
try. And Naaman decided to go. So precept upon precept, things kept falling in place. And boom,
Mm.
he got the healing he needed.
And
So
it started from
that's like,
her deciding to
well,
speak.
yeah, just from one superhero, one child, one child. So it's not
Mm,
a thing of where you find yourself. It's not an age-related thing. You just have a voice, and you don't need to wear capes. You don't need to
mm.
have the wings or be able to fly like Spider-Man. It's in
You don't
you.
even
That's what
have
the
to, you
book
don't
is
even
trying
have
to
to be
tell
in a
you.
leadership or exalted position.
No, 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 no.
She was in that lowly position, and yet
Yeah,
she cared enough to notice. I mean, I really love that story of the slave girl,
slave
because she
girl.
cared enough to notice that there was a
Yeah,
problem here, and she had a solution. Some people that said, "Should be people are don't use me to do house girl, you will suffer. I have solution,
I
but I
tell
won't help
you,
you. You will
I tell
suffer.
you.
This thing will kill you. It's good for you.
Mhm.
Next time, you shouldn't use me as slave." And people will think but today she's remembered for all time
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that
And we all
act
read
of
about her.
kindness,
Yeah,
for
that's
that
right.
act of kindness. So I
Yeah.
think that's a very beautiful story. So you have a couple of them like that in the book, right?
Yeah, they're
About how many
different
stories?
stories.
How
About
many?
10 stories, about 10 stories for children to relate
Okay.
with. So the book is supposed to come in volumes because the children and their reading span. So you don't want to bore them
Ah,
because every book has got activities for them to do, things just to help them
okay.
reflect and see what they have read through and be able
Okay.
to ensure that they've taken the lessons and there is something they
Mm,
can hold on to. So for a child who is reading a story for the first time, or for even if it's like subsequent, because you remember that the word of God comes with something new every day. It doesn't
every
matter
time.
how many times you have read John 3:16. There is something
Right.
that drops in your mind. There's a rhema that just comes differently for you. So it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter if they are first time readers or people who have heard the stories before, but they're able to relate, see it in their
Mm,
own lives. Maybe they've tried something and felt, oh, I couldn't do this. But then the book comes to tell them it doesn't matter where you find yourself. Like Joseph, he knew who he was, he knew his identity. And through the whole
mm.
ups and downs, he still kept to it. And God's word came to pass because God has a special plan for each and every one of us. He's got the big picture, but we have a part to play, and the part is take a step.
Take a step. We absolutely and completely need to take a step at all times, I mean, and that is part of why today's conversation is so critical. We're talking about writing obedience now, and it's like you have heard, right? It's been confirmed to you. You even have the story. You have it in your head. You have the whole ideas. Like this is how it's going to go. Because God doesn't just give hazy ideas. He gives you, even
Yeah,
if He won't show everything at the same time, He gives you step by step. All you need to do is take the first steps. Okay, I'm going on now. You now hear the next part. I'm going on now. You now hear the next part. That's how it works. So, but the truth is, you have to take a step. You have to take a step. And the first step can even be as simple as, who do I know has written a children's book? Let me go and ask them how they do it.
yeah,
It could even be as simple as Googling and asking your friends, please, I want to write a book. Who knows who can help me? It could be as simple as saying, um, what age range should I work with? What kind of, activities can I put together for this age range? It just needs a first step. And the first
yeah.
step is in obedience. Sometimes you may
That's right.
not see the full picture. You don't have a title for the book. You don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know who will illustrate. You don't even know that there are people like illustrators, whether you can have anybody. You don't know what to do, but start with the story. The one that God has dropped in your heart, starts.
That's right.
It will come together. It will
Yeah.
come together. It will come together. There's a girl I'm helping work. I'm working on her book. She's my daughter's friend, and she reached out to me. Hello, ma'am. My name is so I'm so person's friend. I have a book I want you to work on with me. And I thought, oh my God, you're writing a book? Amazing. I love it. Let's go. And I just working with her. I saw the book. I was like, this book at this your age, you're writing this kind of book. I was so impressed with the girl, and it's about entrepreneurship for teenagers. You know,
Mm.
the title of the book is Scroll Less, Live More. She's like, teenagers are so obsessed with their phones and and life is just passing them by.
That's
Meanwhile,
right.
there are a lot of things you can be doing. You can start a business, you can learn the skills and everything, because what better way to start a business than when you don't have much to lose? So you're still on your parents' roof. You don't need to eat with the business. You're just literally trying
Yeah,
your hands. So you're
that's
making
right.
mistakes, you're picking yourself up, and you're learning hard skills. She even said something as much as saying that, even being a student, and being an entrepreneur means you are learning how to manage your time. That I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
this
that's
is a
creativity in its
teenager.
own. Yeah.
Like the teacher, come on now. And she went ahead to say, oh, that don't worry, that it won't make you drop your grades. You just have to plan yourself properly, use proper schedules. This girl was not giving us her own results. That
We'll
she goes
see.
to also exam. I was like, oh she. I was like that. I think be rooting for this child. Because I was like, that's what we're talking about. She probably
That's right.
had the note to write. And she said, how do I go about it? She remembered that SMS mom is a writer. Let me go and reach her. She can help
Yeah,
me.
that's
No,
right.
maybe she just knows me as a writer. She don't know I could even publish. As she came to me, I'm like, let's go. We publish, finish the whole book. Let's go. And we're getting the printer copies today. Read in time for her graduation. She wanted to have it for her graduation. I'm so excited for her. And this is just how it goes. This is just how it goes. There's just so much that so many people can do. But just come and add to the existing body of knowledge on everything. Don't say, somebody has and there's just a lot I want to say about writing, and I think I always sound like a broken record, but I feel so passionate about this thing that I don't care if you think I'm sounding like a broken record. I just need everybody to know that there's a lot to be done. There's a
Yeah,
lot to be done. There is so much to be done, and God needs us on our feet because the enemy is not playing.
yeah.
He's not playing, no. They are
Not
they are
at all.
funding the agenda with serious money. Do you see?
Right.
They are
Yeah.
funding. I mean, the other day I saw that Disney said they were going to be doing representing LGBT fully in their characters, in their main characters, not even half characters,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even for the side supporting in their main characters. They will make sure that they are fully represented. I mean, the woman was on TV saying, how can my young daughter not know that, whether she said she had some LGBT child, I don't know. And she said she needed the person to feel like they were being represented.
Inclusive, yeah. Inclusive. See, every day is
See,
inclusiveness they're talking about.
the devil is working. Oh.
He is working and he's
So
working
he had to make
overtime,
sure
you
that
know.
he carried one of the children of the high-ranking officials of Disney, so as to make sure that somebody somewhere will think about it and say we should include these people because if her
That's
own
right.
child is dead, like this is personal. You
Yeah.
see?
They need to have a voice here. And you know, currently,
Ah,
like the loudest voice, the people who are making the loud noises seem to be the ones that are being heard. So we
they're getting
also
the
need
attention.
to wake up. Yeah, we also need to wake up because the voices are just ringing. And as much as we care to know, it's sticking in the ears of our children. If we do nothing about it, it will stay, and that's how it stays. So we all have a part to play, and we need to do something. So in every little way, we need to do something. Coach, are you there? I think the network. Is that mine? Guess while we wait for Coach to join us, as I was saying, I was just talking about the voices of the world being quite loud with selling and sending wrong messages to our children. So we shouldn't keep quiet in every little way we can. Even if you're not an author, you are a parent. You might just be an auntie to a child. You might just be an uncle. Or even if you're not an uncle or anything, whatever, you have friends and you see their children. Let's be willing and intentional about sowing the right seeds. For every time we're with these children, for every time we come across children, let's be sure to send a message, to pass a message, because we need to be intentional and think of what will we even be remembered for at the end of the day. Yes, it's not about just dying. Let's say you're only here for a temporal time, just on an assignment. You're joining because we're not here permanently. So if you leave an environment, what will you be remembered for? Will you be counted amongst those that made an impact, that left your prints in the sands of time, that caused a change, or you'll just be bystander or one who just keeps quiet and lets things happen? Our children should be the priority. We're already in our future. Some people will say, like, you're already in your future, so you've got nothing to lose. These children are the ones that are still coming there. They're still walking, they're growing. So let's help them. Let's guide them because their whole mindset, everything about them matters, and it matters a whole lot. So we should be intentional about the content, about the message, about everything we carry. And no matter how little the assignments God has given you may seem, or no matter how great it looks, the first thing is take a step and don't stay there. Take a step and get working on that assignments that God has given to you. So I'll just wait for Coach to come back. And I guess we'll be wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
Yes, the network has not allowed Coach Brenda to come in and join again. I'll give it some more time. If she's unable to join, I'll drop up and end the session for her. But sorry for those of us who are joining. I'm so sorry. I guess it's the network. Let's just give her some more time, please. In just for the interest of our time, because I guess the network is playing a hard one and our coach is unable to join us. If there is any message I would like to leave the audience with today is that we need to take a step and don't stay quiet on what we carry. If there is any message, any instruction, anything, whatever it is that you've received, whatever it is you need to do, just get started, take a step. Like we've said, seek help. You have identified an area. It's the same thing. I think in this month, I've been talking to children on Bible Club with Auntie Semira on the theme confidence. And confidence is not like a walk in the park or something that you're born with. You actually work to build it, just like we go to the gym and build muscles. You also build the muscles of confidence. And how do you do that? It's by identifying an area where you need to build confidence. And when you do that, you need to go take another step. And what step? When you cry out to God, you seek help. You seek help by asking people who are experts, talking to people who are mentors, or people who are able to do that thing you need to build on. And just like you build confidence, it's the same thing we're talking about here today. You need to build that little voice, that message you think you have. Look for people who have done it before. Look for people who can help you. It might be online, it might be in person, it might be people in your circle that you've met before, and you just know there is something about them. Somehow, you might even come across people, maybe on a trip, and coincidentally, they tell you they can give you solutions that you have been longing and looking to get. That's a sign to tell you that God is in the neighborhood and He's actually working with you. So don't just sit back and say, oh, I can't do it, or play down on yourself. You are a voice the world and everyone is waiting to hear. Don't play down yourself. You might not see the whole picture. You don't even need to see it. Just take a step. Take a step through it. And as you go, you get clarity. As you go, your voice will become louder. As you go, you build the confidence. Just all you need to do is keep believing every step through it. Keep believing in yourself. And as you do it, as you seek knowledge, just keep practicing. Practice is where you go right in. You need to keep writing. Write the first book, publish the second one, whatever it is in journals, is it in magazines, wherever it is, just keep writing and keep putting yourself out there. There is no perfect time to start than now. So just get started. Wherever you're joining in from, we want to say thank you for spending time with us today and joining to hear us speak. I'm sure you've got value for your time. And if you've got that, please, can I see your comments in the comment section? And just drop 1 or 2 lines that you have picked up from the meeting today. I'll see you again some other time or somewhere in the neighborhood or somewhere I know we'll meet again. But for tonight, I'll say have a good evening and enjoy the rest of your day to whoever is watching and wherever you're joining me from. Thank you, Coach Brenda, for such a wonderful opportunity to be live here with you. And I look forward to many more engagements. Thank you, everyone. Bye.